Oh, Musim, I was thinking about plugging the carousel at the beginning of this episode.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, since it's making its triumphant return.
I would, yeah. Let's do it.
It's on its comeback tour.
We're
Not a
on our
farewell
greatest.
tour. We're not the Who.
Man, what band was it? I think it was Sheep on Drugs, where their first album was called Greatest Hits.
Awesome. Oh, man. Okay.
What am I even? Okay.
I am just ready to take a nap.
Right?
You see, so I'm tired as well for different reasons. In that we had a sewage issue the other night.
Oh, no.
No.
So right now the downstairs smells like bleach. So I am probably high as a kite.
Boy, what a trio we make.
It was not pleasant. It happened
anytime
literally.
you add sewage plus leak is a real bad time, and usually 2 in the morning.
Well, when it happened for me, it was Thursday night. I had gotten on the Skype to get ready for game club, and like about 7:30, 7:45, Susie's like talking about us stuff is just everywhere downstairs. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it turns out she had drained the bathtub. We had a busted pipe or clogged up pipe or something that had been going for about what the plumber guessed was 6 months. That
wow.
just decided to regurgitate everywhere. So that was a living nightmare. On-air stories. Yay, TMI.
Yeah, the joys of home ownership. Oh.
Now Twitch is working.
Okay. I'm really trying to get my stuff together here, and I'm having a really hard time. Whew. Oh, Mina, I explained to Musim before you came on here. I had some doctor's appointments the other day, and
Yeah.
they put me on antibiotics. I'm all the way out of it right now. So I apologize in advance.
It's okay.
Antibiotics just mess me up completely. So who knows how the show's gonna go.
Well, I had the flu for 2 weeks of this month, so
Oh, jeez.
Ugh.
yeah.
Wow. We are all just falling apart.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those are the only 2 games I played this month. So, are you guys ready to start this thing?
Let's
Sure.
do it.
Question mark.
Let's rock it out.
Whew. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love. I'm your host, Boston, and going around the table, we have Musim.
Hi.
And we have Mina.
Heyo.
Real quick bit of programming news here before we start. Musim, I think you have a very special announcement here.
Yes, so me and some friends have brought back our podcast, the Carousel Podcast, after
Woo!
like a year and a half. We are very explicit, but I do encourage you to check us out. Our current cast is me and Joey and Scott, who are all normal regulars, and then Jake, who's a horrible person. No, Jake's not. He's a good guy. He likes Vanquish. He's all right.
Yeah. The other Jay-Z from the E1M1 community. Pun master extraordinaire.
Yes. So he fits in perfectly because we're all about puns.
Yeah.
So right now what we're doing is we are streaming. Well, we're doing it on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central. The podcast is every other week, and then on off weeks, we're just giving it to certain members to stream a game or something for an hour. This Monday is allegedly, assuming things don't explode, going to be me and Scott streaming Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015.
Nice. Hopefully not on Twitch because... oh no, I'm thinking of that other one that they banned.
Yeah, no.
That one's safe.
When you mentioned doing this plug, I was like, can I say that? And then I looked it up on Twitch, and they don't have it listed there, so
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So what's the website for that again?
It is thecarouselpodcast.com. We are on iTunes. We used to be on Stitcher. I haven't checked to see if we are again. There've been a
Probably.
lot of
Everything's on Stitcher.
there've been a lot of technical update things we've been working on and just trying to refine the process. So
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we go check them out. Show's fun. But Musim, what have you been playing this past month?
okay, I only have, I believe, 4 games. I guess I'll start with Xenoblade Chronicles because I've arguably played that one the most.
Okay.
I'm up to about 30 or 40 hours in it with no end in sight.
Did you take the advice of stop doing quests and just focus on main story?
So I started trying to apply that advice, and it's actually created. It's not entirely my fault. It's you aren't high enough level if you completely ignore the side quests. I started out actually just okay. I'm going to time myself and only let myself do half-hour increments of side questing.
Okay.
And that
Set
worked
an egg
for
timer.
I was using my phone timer, pretty much, yeah. And that worked for about 3 sessions.
And then you get that one side quest that's super cool, and you're like, oh, that sounds so fun.
Well, and it was partly that, and it was partly just I was a level below the story mission enemies.
Oh, right.
And it just seemed like it was going to get worse. This Xenoblade Chronicles is so weird because I feel like all the innovations it made because they made the game and then were like, oh my gosh, this is like pulling teeth. We have to make this bearable somehow.
Right.
How do we do that? Okay, add fast travel, let's make it so you can turn in most of these quests on the spot, and oh my gosh, I'm never going to find this person again. Let's at least list their location, and I don't think they went far enough, honestly, on the quests where you have to return to the person. But
yeah.
it's I like the game a lot. It's just very taxing at times.
Yeah.
And especially the area I got to now. I got to Earthsea, which is a teleportation zone where everywhere you go, you have to go to certain platforms to teleport around. Which
I don't even remember that area.
oh man, it's did you get? Oh, now I'm gonna forget all their names. Minor spoiler. Did you get the princess?
Yes. I played like 100 hours of that game, so I had to have gotten to that point.
Okay, so
I don't think I
Earthsea.
played that many side quests.
Earthsea is where the city of her people is.
Oh, okay, that cool, like, Xenogears city.
Yeah, but it's like there's the city, but to get to the city, you have to go through Earthsea.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And actually, I think they say Erythsea, and because it's spelled Eryth or something like that.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Like I've actually haven't played it for about a week because of other reasons, not because I'm burnt out on the game, but it's like I'm kind of in a dungeon right now where I am that princess character, and I have no idea how to use her because I've just been using what's his name, Shulk. I think he's the main character.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Shulk, and Rain is his buddy. Okay. I've just been using Shulk the whole time, and it's man, I don't know. It's using her who's all over. It's weird because like you start her and then it tells you, oh, you can have your elementals attack other people, and I look through and all her elemental summons seem like they're just buffs, and I don't know how to.
Oh, right. I remember that part where I was sort of like, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This is very different, and the stakes are sort of high-ish, and I am pretty confused.
Yeah, it's a good thing the game is so forgiving on death. Like it just death literally doesn't matter. You just okay, well, I'm back here, gonna try again.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of scoots you back a little bit, and it's like, all right, we pulled you back a little. Why don't you give that another shot?
Yeah. I did get to a fight before I went into that dungeon. It's actually, like, when you get to the city, they're like, we don't trust you, go do something for us. So you have to go kill all these lizards. And they were just wrecking me, and I had tried them for like half an hour straight, and I finally just got online and looked it up, and they recommended like a team combo I never would have tried, in that they recommended I take Shulk and Rain and I can't remember his name, the original wielder of the Monado. Um,
Dunbar?
yeah, Dunbar.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
And it seemed weird to me because it's a completely offensive team. I'm not taking Ricky, who's kind of cracks me up.
I really liked Ricky. I don't know why. I think I really liked his voice actor.
Yeah.
He's that little like chipmunk thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cute.
He's like
like
a less
that.
annoying choo-choo.
That's exactly what I thought, where I'm like, oh man, there's a tree full of choo-choos, and if this is going the way I think it is, I am putting this game down right now.
Yeah. I was a little worried, but I like that he has this weird high-pitched, almost Scottish accent thing going, but
Yeah, his accent really works in his favor.
Susie hates him. Like, she watches me play the game a lot and just absolutely loathes him. And he is, like, aside from being kind of an enjoyable, funny comic relief character, like, I think his skills are really good, like, buff, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I think his healing skills are better than the sniper girls.
Yeah, I brought him around a lot, because I found that his healing and his buffs were really strong.
Yeah, I don't remember what any of them are specifically, but I remember liking them quite a bit. Like, he's so based on not getting the enemy to target you, getting everyone. I think he's the one who gives temporary invincibility to someone. I don't know. It's been a week.
That sounds familiar.
But either way, I'm enjoying the game. It's when I discovered I could rebuild Colony 6. That's been kind of my latest obsession until.
Oh right.
I got to the part where I realized I'm missing like exactly one item to reach level 2 with everything, and I have no idea where to get any of them, and I think I just have to move the story forward first.
You want to know where my downfall in nearly every RPG is when a character goes, would you like to help us rebuild this city? And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I'm going to have to fight a bunch of rare bosses to level up this whole thing.
Yeah.
I will not be able to stop myself. See Breath of Fire 3.
I love city building. It's funny because like I won't play like a Sim City or something like that, because that's just like I'll sit down and then I'll wake up like 12 hours later, and I can't afford to do that in life.
Right. I have a job. I can't be doing that.
But if they put it in the background of an RPG or action game like Assassin's Creed did, or like this did,
like
or
MGS5, where it's like, just build this whole giant platform structure. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah. I'm so gonna get MGS5 sometime. But
yeah.
Anywho, so I played that a bunch. I kind of needed a break at one point, so I've been trying to make myself go back to Pillars of Eternity. That is an incredibly difficult game to go back to. Just like one of the big criticisms I have against Pillars of Eternity is how do I say this? Basically, they have lots of decision makings where you take one side or the other, and when you look at a game like Mass Effect or something else, there are results for those sides, or they give you reasons to believe one thing or the other.
Mm-hmm.
In Pillars, they give you no reasons to believe anything. They make both sides almost completely equal.
So it really is like an aggressive sort of Shades of Grey thing, where it's like, who's right and who's wrong? Who knows? And it's like, well, I have to have an opinion about somebody because you're making me choose.
Yeah, like okay. For instance, the quest I went back and did. I'm at a part in Act 3 where you have to do basically a quest for each of the gods to gain their favor. I guess you have the option not to do that too, but this is the path I'm taking.
Yeah.
So the first god I went to do a quest for wants me to get these. Like, it's this weird kind of druid ranger like religion cult thing, and they all live in this cave, and they breed animals to eventually fight. And there's this bear and this, I don't remember if it's a lion or a tiger, something like that.
A large cat.
Yeah. And your mission you have been tasked with is to get them to fight. If your main character is not a ranger or a druid, And I should have grabbed like the ranger and druid and taken them along to see if they could affect the conversation at all. That
Right.
occasionally happens, but nowhere near as much as it should. So kind of, I went in this cave, and the boss guy said, "Look, I don't care who wins, but they need to do it and get it over with so we can move on." So
I don't care who fights, but these animals have to fight.
yeah, like at one point he literally says, "Look, you can just kill one of them, and we'll call the other one the victor. It's okay."
But some sort of living beast needs to die.
Yeah. And so you go in and you talk to the people around the lion, and they're like, "Yeah, no, that bear has an advantage out in the open, so they have to come in here to this den if they want to fight the lion." And then you go and talk to the bear, and the bear's like, "Yeah, no, that lion has an advantage if it stays in its den, so they have to come out here." And
The other guy's like, "Yo, I see that bear has a shiv. Like, you need to watch out."
yeah, they literally gave me nothing to go on. So I literally went, "Okay, you know what? The lion is staying in its home, so I'm going to call them too much of a wuss for not leaving their cave to go on the offense, so I'm going to go kill the lion." So I did. And that was it. That was the end of the quest. There was nothing. It was just...
A little quick fanfare, and somebody's shaking their head at you in the background. And it's like, all right, here's 5,000 experience.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Lion killer.
And that's not... And maybe that was maybe the worst offender of the quests I've gotten in Pillars, because most of them will have a little more to it, but all these kind of god quests they've given us are just really dumb like this. So I don't know. It's
Like,
It's still
outside
a
of
great
that quest,
game, but-
do you have an idea of what each god stands for?
yes.
Okay, so you could potentially, if you really cared about the lore, you could say, oh, well, I like this god over the other god, so I'm going to go kill the bear.
Well, it's one god that these two animals are under, so
Oh,
you're
well,
not
that
actually...
doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the hunter god or something like that, you know?
Sheesh.
Like there's something like 8 or 9 gods or something in Pillars of Eternity. And like my understanding is you probably only have to do a quest for one and you can continue on with the main story. But because I have problems, I'm going to do all of them.
Yeah.
Ooh, side quests.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what this episode's subtitle is. Ooh, subquests.
Oh
So-
man, you guys have no idea.
Oh, man.
So I guess my recommendation on Pillars has kind of changed into, if you are curious about what the old Infinity Engine games were like, but want something new and updated that you will continuously play for 100, or for, we'll say, 80 hours. I don't think it's 100 hours. Then play Pillars, but don't stop playing after Act 2 like I did.
Yeah, you have to keep going.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. They're still updating the game, so that's good on them. And they got one more piece of DLC to get out.
Yeah.
And I got the first, because the tier I backed it at came with the DLC. So that was kind of my intent, was, okay, just finish the game. Let's see what this DLC is about. And that didn't happen. Also, Pillars has a city building sim in it.
Oh, no. Well, now I'm never going to install it. I have to save myself.
Theirs isn't, man, their city building sims like this weird managerial thing where your city kind of brings in income, but the troops you hire to protect it and protect whoever you put in the dungeon there, like, take away income.
Oh,
So
jeez.
it's a weird push-pull thing, but the way I did it, I'm not even really, I kind of just kept buying and staying on it so much that I don't think I had too many stealing problems. And honestly, I built the dungeon so late that whenever it would get raided, they wouldn't actually destroy anything. It would take away from the income that the place generated. So it didn't, I don't know. I didn't
Weird.
think it was that negative. But let's see. Warframe had another update. Oh, and I did my experiment. I forgot about that. I started a new Warframe account on the Xbox One and kind of played it through the intro missions and pretty much stopped after that. But I wanted to get an idea of what the new player experience is like.
Oh, right.
So you have about 4 hours now, 4 or 5 hours in Warframe, where you have a pretty fluid, narrative-driven experience that's semi-linear. you after the first couple missions, it lets you go to a couple places in I think Mercury. But they kind of introduce you to the different factions, and there's 2 quest lines you can go on right away. The problem is the second quest line results in a blueprint for an item. Like, to make the item, you have to get something that's several planets away, and will literally take that new player like another 8 hours to get to, which is a bad decision.
Yeah, it seems like they're leading you along with breadcrumbs, and then eventually they just throw a piece of bread across the street, and it's like, I don't know, you figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, that's pretty far away.
Yeah, it was I don't know. It was neat playing through it at the beginning. It just they need to kind of rebalance it. And they've said that they're going to go back and rebalance some of the they're going to rebalance the master rank system, which is kind of the system they use to lock people out of high-end weapons at the beginning. It basically, you go up master rank the more weapons you master. But yes, other Jay-Z, you're right. I did figure out a way to play more Warframe.
Why should you only play one Warframe when you can play 3?
Yeah. Honestly, if someone from my Xbox Live friends list had come in and started wanting to play and go through the intro with me, I probably would have kept going a little bit. But as is, it was now. And it helped, too, that they revamped one of the starting Warframes, the Excalibur, to be extremely good. Like your beginning choices are Excalibur, Volt, and Mag. And Excalibur is good at the end levels as well as the beginning. So that is my current recommendation. Although the other 2 are fun too. But the new update hit this week. I guess they had 2 updates this month. One they called the Weapons Locker, which introduced a dozen new weapons or so. And then the newest update, they introduced a new Warframe, which I still haven't gotten because, RNG.
Shake my fist at you.
Yes. Just the worst. Why do you do RNG? Like, I really wish they would just do let me pay them $20 a month and then take out half of the RNG BS,
Yeah,
like,
or for your subscription you get, something sort of guaranteed.
Yeah, like do something to get rid of like the craft times, like the places in Warframe that I feel would be good for them to spend real money that I think is fine is inventory space. They have several hundred weapons in the game. They have at least 25 or 30 Warframes at this point. I think inventory space is a great place for it.
Oh yeah.
They have these special items that double the mod points available on a piece of equipment. I'm good with that. It's you can buy resources for this really overpriced amount, or you can buy these mod things, or you can buy crafting time. And those are things I'm not... Well, I guess crafting time is probably dealable. They occasionally slip into that kind of malicious slope that I don't approve of. But,
yeah, where you kind of look at it and you go, that's a little...
yeah.
I don't know.
So... And I don't know. I'll probably talk more about the update later. This update was a lot more subtle things than I think I can readily talk about on the show, unfortunately. So
yeah.
Or maybe fortunately, depending on your viewpoint. I know people get tired of me talking about Warframe. So last but not least, there's a certain game that has taken over my week that I'm sure all of you played too. I know for a fact, actually, both of you played it because I've been trolling the little trophy section under it, and that is Persona Dance All Night.
Yes. I've only played maybe a half an hour. I've been pretty sick this past week, so rhythm games and illness are not good bedfellows.
I can see that. I have... Let me think. How do I put this? The free dance thing, I beat it on easy. And then I've done most of them on normal on free dance. I'm probably not super far in the novel thing. Kind of how my experience was is I got it and I started this story and I was excited because I never play rhythm games. So this was going to be like a really new experience for me. And then I sat through an hour
And then you
story.
realize, wait a minute, this is Persona. We need to have 3 hours of story before
Yeah.
you actually get to play anything.
This is a for real visual
Yep.
novel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was like the moment I got through that first chapter, I exited and went to the dance thing. I'm like, I don't understand any of this, and I still don't like. I'm gonna have to probably here in a week after I've gone through all of story mode, actually just sit down and watch the cinematics for the songs because
Yeah.
I'm concentrating
you know,
so
you
hard on
can,
the symbols.
Is there that? I never clicked it before, but there's something like a rewatch or a replay after
Yeah.
you do it. Does that actually just like straight up show you what you did, or is it no? You get to dance it again.
I think it is a replay. It's not a like retry or anything.
Okay, because I didn't click it, but I wondered if you could, because I actually do want to watch some of those dances because I'm so mesmerized with. I gotta make sure I hit the buttons just right, and
And
I don't have time to watch the dance.
holy crap, does that game get hard? Like
It does.
Like going to free dance immediately after that first chapter of story, I wasn't aware of the hold the button down prompts, and I was completely confused as what to do for a while. And once I did figure out what they were talking about, like the releasing part is super hard on those because, and it may just be me, but to me the graphic does not line up beat-wise, so you have to listen to the beat for when to release it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it helps so much to know what the song is trying to play musically. So if you learn the song and then you play it again, except this time knowing the song and how the beat is going to go down, you do so much better. I actually hum when I do the entire thing, and I get perfects nonstop. So
Nice. My big juggling act is like I always want to tap my foot or bob my head or something to it to try and keep me in rhythm, and then figure out where the beats hit on rhythm. And some of the jazz stuff that gets really freaking hard that doesn't have much of a beat. But the problem is I'm playing this as I'm going to bed and Susie's sleeping beside me, so I'm like, how do I bob without freaking bugging the crap out of her?
Yeah.
So I've taken to just moving my big toe, a la Kill Bill, I guess. But
I think
So
the I
did
think
you-
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I think the thing that has the only thing that's been weirding me out so much is I didn't play much of Persona 4 Arena, and I never watched the Persona 4 anime, so I'm not used to, one, the main character having a name that people are calling him, and then two, him having a voice. He starts speaking, and I was like, who is that? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, that was something Johnny Young Bosch actually said in his interviews when he was first asked to do Narukami's voice and Adachi's voice for the Persona 4 game. He was a little concerned. He's like, you have the main character and you have this other character having basically what he was told, the same voice. And they're like, no, it's cool. The main character, he doesn't really talk. He's just going to shout out Persona names. It's going to be cool. It's fine. Just, do your normal voice for Adachi and the same voice for the Personas. It'll work out. It's great.
Yeah,
and
everything
then
will be fine.
and then it was the actual Persona Arena game came out, and he was like, okay, so now I have to do a fully voiced character, and he was like, I'm a little concerned about this. What voice am I supposed to do? And they're like, the same voice as Adachi. It'll work. It's fine. Cool. Adachi's not in the game. It's cool. You could just do that. He's like, okay, so, he did his normal, voice, Johnny Young Bosch voice. And then the anime comes out, and he realizes that not only is he going to be both characters at the same time, but they're actually going to interact with each other, and he used the same voice for both characters, and he looks at them and he's like, what am I supposed to do? And they're like, I don't know. So, yeah, that's hilarious. He ended up having to try and alter the Yu Narukami voice to sound a little different from Adachi.
That's really weird.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the voice actors don't, aside from Kanji, almost all the other voice actors sound different to me than from the game. But
Well, did you play Persona 4 Golden?
yeah,
Okay.
are
I
they
think
the
it's
same actors from that?
I think so.
All of them except for Rise. Rise's voice actress changed from Laura Bailey to someone else.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
I do like that they kind of gave her a leadership role in the story. Like I guess you can't really get into it with too much spoilers, but at one point they very much put her in charge of a contingent, which I enjoyed. But which makes sense. She's the idol. She's the one teaching them how to dance.
Yeah.
So, but the story's pretty corny. Have you already beaten the story section, Mina?
Oh no, I did all of free dance mode, and then I'm at this part of the story where we split up. So I think I'm in like chapter 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Persona 4 Arena is any indication, there will be a ton of story.
Yeah, I'm at the split up part 2. I did the first half of it, and now I'm at the other group going through it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think I know exactly what's going to happen.
I'm trying my best to not analyze it too much because I'm like, I think I already know too.
Yeah, but it's they maybe cookie cutter it at this section a little bit too much, but it's still enjoyable. Like I love how I don't know, they still do. Like I wasn't convinced I would be able to continue with these characters. Honestly, I love the Persona 4 characters. I've had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like I have games, and everyone knows. I mean, there's 2 fighting games now. There's the Persona 4 game. There's the anime. These characters have been here.
Second anime.
But I love this game so much. It was so disappointing because like after playing a bit, I'm like, I should figure out how to stream this, and started reading up on how to stream the Vita online, and it was just like, forget that.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Like I tried to do. I set up an experiment where I hooked up my Vita TV to the Xbox, and I got that to play on the Xbox, but you can't stream the TV channel on the Xbox from what I can see.
Oh, right.
I'm able to stream the Vita TV, but streaming the Vita requires a lot of mod work, and it's expensive.
And works a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you probably use like a splitter cable and a capture card for the Vita TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a capture card.
I have neither of those things and don't want to spend money.
Well, crap.
So, did you just download the game, or...?
Oh no, I bought the big special edition.
I did too, and it's really shiny. I'm a magpie, and I like shiny things.
Yep.
It's actually a really nice collector's edition. You know,
is really nice.
Like Atlas continues to do. I feel like they're one of the companies. Oh, nice. I feel like they're one of the few companies that when you get a collector's edition from them, it's not just like, I don't know, here's a poster and like a statue. I don't know. It's actually things that are interesting and could be fairly useful.
Oh yeah, now I have a Persona 4 bag to put my Persona 4 case for my Vita and the Persona 4 plastic in.
Amazing.
I'm really happy that they gave me another Vita cover, because as much as I love my golden one, I can see that it is starting to wear from use.
Mina, I also like that you have also put, like I did, put the little back piece of paper that comes on it in the box to keep it.
Yes,
I felt like I was the only one that's like, oh, this comes with a piece of
like
paper on the back. I'm going to tuck this away safely. I'll never need it.
Yeah. I hate that they make those pieces of paper, honestly.
I want to save everything because I'm a pack rat.
You're making it inauthentic. Like, in 50 years, when this is going for $1,000, it's only going to go for $10 if you don't have that piece of paper.
Exactly. It's got the UPC on it and everything.
Oh, man. Yeah, that game is great. I love it.
It's a pretty good rhythm game.
I have not been able to beat anything on hard mode, though. I will say that. Have you tried hard?
I've tried hard. I'm not successful at it. However, one of my friends who loves rhythm games to death, and I mean loves it, like that's all he plays every day and night. He didn't even do easy or normal mode. He went straight into hard mode, and he's got perfects on all of the songs now.
Oh my gosh.
Watching it is just sickening to my stomach because I'm like, how are you able to do this? My brain can't even process all these buttons you need to press.
Yeah, there's too much stuff happening.
So, Persona 4 Dancing All Night is strictly a rhythm game.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other
Quick
JZ in
story.
the chat asked if it's a rhythm game or is that a new thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a new thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's this weird it's this weird thing that Atlas is doing with Persona 4 where it's like, man, that was successful. Let's try to do weird stuff with it.
yeah.
It's a fighting
Turn
game
an
now.
Etrian game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
mush it with an Etrian game.
Oh yeah, I played a bit of that too. Not much, but I don't know. Man, so that 2-disc soundtrack is pretty freaking awesome. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
it
have
is.
messed with it yet, but it's like 24 tracks on the first one and like 40
39.
tracks.
Yeah.
That's
On the
crazy.
second one.
Like
Yep.
there's a remix by Kiri Yamaoka who did all the Silent Hill soundtracks
Oh,
on
wow.
it.
Some of it's really creepy and sketchy on me. It like makes me freak out a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't listened to all of disc 2, but I've listened to disc 1 multiple times. So disc 2 struck me as these are the end-game tracks, possibly.
Yeah,
But,
or
I
like
mean, I
the
guess-
real experimental ones.
Yeah, well, like disc 1 definitely is, but I feel like, you know how sometimes, like in Dance Central or something, you'll have like a 5-6 minute song that they reduce down to 3 minutes. And they will do a certain edit for that. Like I think the edited versions are disc 2, but I could be completely wrong and haven't researched it, so I'm probably wrong.
Yeah. I mean, at least they gave us what seems to be the entire soundtrack in there.
Yeah.
So instead of some like 6-track sampler.
So that's all I got.
Yeah. All right, Mina, what have you been enjoying this past month? Hopefully enjoying.
I had the flu for like 2 weeks of this month, and
Jeez.
during the 2 weeks of the flu that I dealt with, I kind of was. I remember bits and pieces of me playing a lot, and I mean a lot, of Harvest Moon and Rune Factories, because they are very, very much my comfort game when I'm too sick to even think, and it's just easy to just water plant, talk to cow, take chicken egg, go to sleep. Like, so in my half drugged out state, that's all I did for like 2 weeks. Outside of that, we talked about Persona 4, Dancing All Night. The thing that I have been playing the most, and I don't know if I call it playing quite yet, because I finally just finished getting things the way I want it, and I'm building this up, and I really shouldn't have played this game because I've got so many other games to play. I decided to go play Skyrim.
Oh,
And-
okay.
I may have spent the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 days like intensely reading up on and messing around with mods. And I mean I dug in real deep with
It's a
the mods.
little masterclass going on.
Real deep. And like I actually downloaded all of Skyrim and did all this work with a bunch of mods, and I was trying to play it, and it kept crashing. And I'm like, it's so frustrating. Like, why does it crash all the time? And then like I started like really investigating. Like, I am going to figure out. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm going to figure out why and how to make this all work. Because there are people out there that play so much Skyrim. So there's got to be a way. Like, these people have to find a way to do it, and I want to know how to do it too. And
Yeah.
then I discovered Mod Organizer. The only reason
Ooh.
why I bring this up is because I was trying to do Nexus Mod Manager.
I've heard
was
of that,
trying-
yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to do that. And prior to that, my first experience with mods was the Skyrim workshop.
Hmm.
So I went literally from what I will call baby modding to teenager modding to now I'm like in the adult learning mod. You know, this is like I have now graduated from my college of modding, and now I am throwing in like 200, 300 mods and loading up the game, and it's running perfectly fine with no crashing.
Oh, wow.
I feel like a guru here at this point.
You
Like,
graduated from the United States College of Modding.
It's great. It's great. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that I was doing that. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot. I left the stream going. Back to what I was saying. So anyways, so I finally got all these mods running, and I started playing, and The biggest thing that I need to address about why I'm playing Skyrim, though, is because I never really got that far in the main story of Skyrim. I will tell you exactly how far I got in the main story of Skyrim. Foos.
Oh, nice.
And that is as far as I ever got in the main story of Skyrim.
You got
because,
no row.
Well, the problem was, and I think this is like what Musim has a problem with, is, I'm like, okay, I just did this amazing quest. I completed it. It's done. And then I open up my quest log, and there's like 20 quests. And I'm like, oh no, okay, I need to complete this quest. And then I'm like, it's nearby, this one's the closest to me. Like all those other quests are way out there. Like going to the Greybeard.
That sounds right.
I don't remember any of them.
Like those Greybeards are all the way in the mountains. Like they're far, far away. I'm like,
1,000 steps.
But like look at Whiterun. There's like 30 quests I can do here. I need to do these 30 quests.
Yeah, clear out the log before you get more.
Right. Yeah. And then you take those 30 quests, and one of them may take you to, like, at some point, you're just like, okay, this is going to take me to a cave nearby, and then it spits you out on the other side of a mountain, and then there's like a quest right outside the mountain. And I'm like, well, there's a quest right here. I need to do this quest.
I'll just do it while I'm on the way.
And next thing you know, I'm all the way in Riften, and I'm like, there was something in this story I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. And it's just like, at some point after I played like about 400 hours of Skyrim in the past, I stopped playing it. And at some point someone was talking to me about the main story of Skyrim, and I was like, there's a main story to that game?
Something about dragons?
I was like, what was the main story? And they're like, well, how far did you get in? And I was like, I did, and I started saying, I completed all of these quests and these quests and these quests. And they're like, no, the main story. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so they start leading me through the main story, like, this is what you do first and second. And they get to the part where I fight the dragon and get Foos. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right there. I'm like, I remember that part. That's it. That's the spot. I got Foos. And they were just like, oh my goodness.
Oh man.
So, like, fast forward to now where I'm thinking about, like, oh man, I never beat Skyrim. And despite putting so many hours and hours and hours in that game, I feel kind of bad.
Yeah.
So, I've modded it to what I consider a level of difficulty that I want in Skyrim. I made the enemies a lot tougher because I always felt that the enemies weren't tough enough for me in Skyrim.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of upped their difficulty. I also kind of nerfed the way experience was driven in that game. Because, like, if I wanted to, like, craft, like, 200 iron daggers, next thing you know, I'd be level 30 or something. So I kind of nerfed every kind of level up exploit outside of actually accomplishing stuff in the game. So there's that. And what was the other big thing that I did aside from those two things?
So how does that non-exploit mod work? Because, like, I was always really big on the blacksmithing in that. So how would you level up your blacksmithing to make better weapons with that?
Okay, so I believe the way it works is you still get experience for, like, doing that, but it's not your level up experience. Like the blacksmithing still goes up, but you don't get, like, the
like your character level.
Your character level.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's the thing.
Interesting.
So like, you'll still eventually get perks and stuff, but you get way more of your level up experience from actually doing quests. So that's nice. Doing quests actually gives you something. I believe killing monsters gives you a small amount, which I guess in regular vanilla Skyrim, you didn't really get experience points for killing the monster so much as using something in tandem of killing a monster.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you're shooting a monster with your archery bow and arrow, then you get, like, your archery point.
So you're making it a little bit more traditional, to almost like what a traditional JRPG would be like. Right.
Yeah. And I kind of nerfed the experience across the board, like 100% across the board. And at the same time, I gave myself alternative ways to gain experience points. I'm gonna test it out, but I made it harder that way. I made the dragons in the game in particularly really hard. I increased their damage, they increased their health. Their AI is a lot smarter, so they don't do unintelligent things. And yeah, all in all, they're really tough to fight. And if I find a dragon at this point at my level, I'm gonna run away.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stand my ground.
That's interesting.
So, I've done those kinds of things. There's a lot of different mods that I messed around with, and most of it was just to increase the difficulty upon myself in the game because I want it to be a little more difficult.
So I realize this question defeats your goal of going back to Skyrim, but I heard about a mod they released recently. I'm curious if you tried out that makes you not the Dragonborn.
Oh, interesting.
I did not do that mod, but I've heard of it, but I didn't do that one because I do want to complete the story.
Yeah. I know. As I said, that defeats your goal. I was just curious because since I heard about it like I think a month ago, I've just been like, don't do it, John. Don't
go back.
Download this thing and spend another 100 hours in Skyrim.
Every time I think I'm out, a mod pulls me back in.
I got this one mod that I wonder if you even know what it is, but it was here it is. It's Vilja in Skyrim, and it's a companion mod that you can add in, and this character has like 10,000 lines of dialogue, and she will comment and talk about anything that happens in the game, every quest, every NPC, every character.
Wow.
She is an intelligent AI as well that when you battle with her and you comment on her battle prowess and how she does things, she will actually adopt and change her battle style to suit more of what you want over time.
Wow.
And her commentary in battle will also change based on if you like what she's saying or don't like what she's saying. And so eventually, like, she just kind of modifies everything that she says and does to be the companion you were wanting her to be.
That's insane.
That sounds awesome.
Wow.
It is incredible.
Good work, modders.
That's one of the mods I added.
So everyone take note. This is what you have to look to on consoles for Fallout 4.
Yeah, exactly.
This is craziness.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did another mod that added 450 NPCs into the game that
one
all
I've
are
got
voiced. Okay, you know the one then. That one's it's got like 450 NPCs throughout the world. They all have like voice dialogue. They all have like unique stories and quests and back like just sprinkled in there because yeah, man, you want to talk about a modding community.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like I like that mod exists. And granted I haven't touched that mod in at least a year, but last time I was in it, you always knew who they were because they would open up with their life story that was several pages long. And the recording quality on the voices were not as good as the regular ones. But it was still nice to have all those extra characters.
I would think, yeah, it's definitely for somebody who has played the game and wants to have something added into their game just so that way they can
well, and they have some pretty cool NPCs in there, like some
Some
like I
of them
feel
are
like they have
funny.
an undead mage or something somewhere. I feel like was one of them.
There was the guy who was talking to me about his horse for like I don't know, a good 5 or 6 minutes, and him and his horse, and how like I better do this shit for that's a bleep. Gosh, right the time. I'm sorry. You have to do this thing for his horse, and I was just like, I don't want to do this for your horse, dude. I just remembered what the other mod was that I added to the game that I really, really love, and I'm sure everybody knows of it that's modded anyways. It's Frostfall, which adds like a survival element to the game. So depending on the weather or conditions of like if you go into the water or whatever, you actually can get diseases. You have to keep yourself warm. There's all sorts of ways that you can battle the elements, and it actually includes like a camping mod. And like the really cool thing is if you give your followers the camping equipment, and I tell one of my followers, I'm like, hey, go set up a camp. He will actually build like tents and bedrolls and a campfire and all kinds of things in the world, and it just loads in, and he's got a camp going, and it's really really nice. So there's all
Mods
kinds
are crazy.
of, I know, right? I added so many of these mods and started testing them out. I am so into Skyrim right now. This is probably bad. I don't know if I'll talk about anything next month by Skyrim. But I do want to beat that story. I actually just reached the part where I stopped in the
nice.
actual game, and I'm going to, maybe I should take Muslim's advice and, every 30 minutes go, hey, I need to go back to that main story again.
Well, and the main story, like, again, like, it completely benefits you. Like, everything you get from the main story gives you more Dovahkiin powers that you can use in other places.
Right.
And, like, your in power, which has probably already been spoiled to you, but I won't spoil it just in case. But your in power, and that is awesome. And it is so much more fun to do some of those quests with that in power.
I have a question. Does completing the main story, like, do anything to the world or quests around me that I will sadly regret not doing?
Not that I remember. When I finished the game, I played it on 360 back when it came out, and when I finished the game, I got an achievement. I was sort of like, oh, that was, like, why did I get an achievement for finishing this weird quest? And I looked it up, and the achievement was, hey, you beat Skyrim. It literally, like, someone just left, and they just, I was still in the world, and it's sort of like, all right, Skyrim's over. But, keep doing what you're doing.
So here's the deal. There is one quest line that the main quest asks you to go solve. And I don't think you necessarily... Like, I can't remember. It seems like there might be a way not to solve it, but it's the Imperial Legion versus the Stormcloaks.
Yeah.
So you can do both their quest lines up to a certain extent, which is only like the first, I think, 2 quests or something like that. But at some point, you have to choose a side between them. And then you won't be able to do the rest of the quests, and then certain NPCs at the end of that will probably be dead.
It all seemed fairly minor, though, as I remember. It didn't seem like it was this long, grand quest chain that you would do. It seems like you basically... Either one you pick, you're kind of doing the same thing, just for one person or another. Yeah, like
like Whiterun or Winter Hell, wherever the Stormcloaks are. Yeah. Like, that's the one I did. I sided with the Imperial Legion, and that place is still there with all its quests intact. It's just, if you go in the castle, everyone's kind of ticked off at you, but you can still improve reputation with them.
Okay. Because I always sided with the Imperials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, too, if you're having an issue with one of their attitudes, and just as a result from that decision, just like, there's a command, I think, to actually improve their like a console command to improve your standing with them, whatever it's called.
Make Stormcloaks happy = 1.
Something like that. I don't remember how Skyrim works in that aspect, but I do know there is a console command for it. You can fix it if it bothers you that much, but I don't think there's anything really that you would get from the Stormcloaks that you will miss.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
Making me want to play it.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. I've added, like I said, I've added a bunch of mods. The only mod that I added that's, I guess, a story spoiler one is probably the one that somebody spoiled for me, where they were like, I really hated when the game forced me to make this decision with this character because I how do I not spoil it?
It's a pretty old game. We can spoil it.
All right.
Yeah.
The dragon up on the mountain or whatever. And
oh, yeah.
He was not happy with the decision that the game forced him to make, whatever it was, and apparently there's a mod for that.
Oh, nice.
That basically says, no, he gets to still live, and you guys need to still be cool with this.
Right.
Capiche.
That was actually one of the first mods I downloaded for Skyrim.
Oh, nice.
So, And that's the only one that I guess I downloaded to affect my game, because my friend was like, you're going to want that mod when you hit that point in the story. You're going to be like, I want that mod right now in my story. So I added it. And that's pretty much all I've played.
Pretty much all I've played this last month is MGS5, but that's not really PUP appropriate. So the other game I've played is Destiny: The Taken King, and I'm not going to talk a ton about it because I feel like everybody kind of knows what The Taken King is all about at this point. It's Destiny Year 1, but hey, they are telling a story now, and there's a lot more content this time. I'm really enjoying it. I think The Taken King really shows that Bungie is kind of committed to improving Destiny in a serious way. I know a lot of people still say, well, it's not perfect, and I agree. As much as I love Destiny, it's definitely not the game that I can recommend to everybody, and it's, you know, not a perfectly defensible game. The game obviously has tons of problems still, but the direction they continue to go is, you know, they're not putting their heads in the sand and saying, well, we've made the perfect game, so you just need to go play it and be quiet. I appreciate that they're going through and they're making a lot of pretty serious changes to the game. Regrettably, I've not had a chance to do the new raid yet. I'm itching to get in there. The other Jizzy in chat says, paraphrasing, Bungie is committed to making Destiny playable. I mean, in a pessimistic way, yeah. I mean, Destiny Year 1 was really rough. And the shooting was really good, and a lot of the stuff around the shooting was not great a lot of the time. And I feel like the stuff surrounding the shooting is now better. It's not great, and it's not perfect, but I feel like it's getting there.
It has taken me a lot of willpower not to grab a credit card and start playing this again.
Yeah.
I totally lied. I did play Destiny Boston.
Oh, yeah?
I just realized it. So I did play some Destiny. Is there more parkouring in this new... is it an expansion? What is it called?
Expansion, I think,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, expansion. Is there more parkouring? Because I feel like I am doing a lot of really precise jumping and stuff that I was not used to in the past.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff that it seems like they're really trying to make the game more vertical. You know, especially when you look at one of the early missions, Kate's Stash, where you kind of have to continue to jump up a big tower to scan something at the top. You know, it seems like they're trying to make little changes to, instead of saying, hey, there's that thing over there straight in front of you, go run and bring out your ghost to scan it. Now they're saying, hey, that thing is above you, bring out your ghost and scan it.
You know, honestly, part of me almost feels like the way I'm going to approach Destiny now is kind of do, like, every couple updates, I'll get the new thing, and I'll play it for a few months, and then I'll stop for, like, a year.
Yeah.
Because, like, with The Taken King, you know, they released a version with all the expansions on it. So they're going to do that again, and just, you know, if I wait 2 or 3 expansions, that's going to be a massive amount of content that I'll suddenly be able to partake in.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best way of going about it, because, you know, when Year 2 was ushered in, they came out with version 2.0 that has hundreds of improvements on the base level game, not only weapons but quality of life stuff and just real basic stuff on how the game works. And I feel like if you played the vanilla Destiny, and maybe not even the first 2 DLC packs, you could pick up the Legendary Edition, you know, the $60 edition of The Taken King, and get all of that stuff and go through the old DLC in a much better way, and a much smoother way. You know, they even changed the vanilla game story to introduce Eris into it way earlier. Like, there was that quest you got at some point, the Sword of Crota one, where you go and take care of that. It's the first time you get to use the sword in the game. And now in Destiny, they she gives that to you really early, and that starts her story with you, and that starts your path through to Crota's End and taking care of that raid. And it starts back at level 8 or something. So, they've taken a lot of the game as it stands and kind of not really remixed it, but they've put pieces on other characters where it makes a lot more sense. And I think it makes the game a lot stronger. I think it makes it a lot more cohesive. I think the only unfortunate part is, if you didn't like Destiny before, there's nothing in there that's going to really... You don't need to rush out and get Taken King, because now Destiny has been fixed, quote-unquote. They're making the game better and they're improving it, but I don't think it's that game where I can universally recommend it and say, man, if you love shooting aliens in the face, or you love loot games, or you love light MMOs, you gotta go out and get Destiny. If you like grinding in a loot game like I do, you'll probably really like Destiny, because there's a lot more stuff in this DLC where they're removing RNG from a lot of stuff, and they're making exotic weapons and really good weapons at the end of quest chains, which I think is a much better way of handling it, instead of saying, like, I hope you do the raid a bunch and you get this weapon. Sort of like, you're going to do this quest chain for 5 hours, and some of it might be hard, but at the end of it, you're going to get a really cool weapon, and you didn't have to rely on drops. You just had to go through all these steps and rely on either skill or kind of running the raid or things like that. So I think it's really great. I'm not going to talk about it too much, because I feel like everybody, including myself, has been talking about it nonstop for probably about the last month. But that's all I've been playing. Other than that, and Persona 4. So let's take a break.
Awesome.
Okay.
I feel like chat is getting raided at the moment. I'm about to start banning people.
Yeah.
Yep, here we go. You're getting out of here, and you're getting out of here.
Okay. Good.
There we go. I take a one strike policy here with chat.
Yeah, that was awkward. I have no idea what you've been saying for the last couple minutes, boss.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Taken King is pretty good, but if you hate Destiny, don't pick it up.
Yeah, no. I just got burnt out on it and needed a break. And now that I'm out, it's like online games take up so much time, and I'm already...
Yeah, they do.
Have a certain commitment to Warframe. So to that extent, I kind of don't want another one.
Yeah.
But I have so many friends that have played Destiny that's going to be like, well, I'll wait for them to add even more and refine it even more, and then probably pick it back up.
Yeah, and I feel like the great struggle for the last couple of years has been Destiny or Warframe, because they do very similar things. And I feel like with the time commitment that's required for both of them, you kind of have to pick one.
Yeah, and it's weird, because on paper they sound a lot alike. In execution, they are entirely different.
Yeah.
Like Warframe, you were jumping everywhere around the room, and Destiny...
Doing cool ninja stuff.
Yeah, and like they have you have 25, I think, unique Warframes, like 30 Warframes total, but they have these kind of buffed versions of them you can get. Each of them has 4 powers apiece. In Destiny, you have 3 classes each with, 3 classes with subclasses, and 1 power for subclasses. Essentially.
Yeah. I feel like when you look at Warframe, I give them a lot of credit for being way more agile with their releases, with the content they've been putting in. I feel like when you look at Warframe, a lot of the patches come out and they're great, and maybe every once in a while one is kind of a dud, but it seems like you only have to wait another month until another crazy one is out, and there's like 5 more Warframes, like.
Yep.
So, but when you look at Destiny, each one is fairly packed full of content, and there's a ton of voice acting, there's a ton of cutscenes, but if you get a dud, looking at something like Crota's End that is fine, but it's not great, you don't really know when the next piece of content is going to be coming. And I think I'd like to see Bungie get a lot more agile with Destiny, and I'm sure part of that has to do with, console manufacturer approval periods, but on a PC, you can just put something out whenever you want. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I respect the hell out of Warframe, and I wish I had enough time to play it because it sounds like it's really great. But I sort of almost by accident picked Destiny.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be back in just a second.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hi, chat. How's everyone doing? The ones that are still here and aren't crazy.
Hey, chat.
Oh, man, excuse me. Oh, I should probably open up news stories here. That would help. We only have 3 news stories this month.
To bring up the depressing and equally happy fact of Persona 5.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even... Yeah.
You throw that one in there?
Yeah, and a sad face.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that because my brain saw that and it's sort of like, yeah, okay, fine.
Hey, at least, you know what? The one thing I keep telling myself, and I take solace in the fact is that the Kingdom Hearts fans are now going to have to wait longer than us for an update.
That's true.
They got Kingdom Hearts 2.8 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I have it here in the news stories. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They get that, and we get it's coming out next summer.
Yeah. Which, I feel like... I guess we'll talk about it, but
Yeah,
I feel like
well.
I sort of trust Atlas quite a bit, so if they say they need more time, they probably do for a good reason.
Yep. Hey, they haven't shipped me a broken game yet, so
That's true. I mean,
they got
Persona
a
4
good track record.
Dancing All Night needed a day 1 patch, but even that was like 30 megs and the game seemed to work fine before the patch, so I think that's the first Atlas game I've played with a day 1 patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready to knock out the rest of this show?
Ready.
Let's bust it out.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about RPG releases for October 2015. First up, we have Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and The Blight Below, which is actually the entire title for that game, coming out on the PS4 on the 13th. That's basically, when they made that Zelda Triforce Heroes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. It's the game series that I am forgetting the name of, Dynasty Warriors.
There you go.
It's that plus Dragon Quest. It looks really fun.
Yep,
so
I'm getting it.
Okay, I'm very curious to hear what you think of it. I might pick that up. I wasn't really interested in the Zelda one, but I might get in for my first quasi Dynasty Warriors game with a Dragon Quest one. I love those slimes. Coming out for the 3DS is The Legend of Legacy on the 13th. This is another Atlas game, right?
Yeah, getting it.
Yeah, I heard this is very similar to an old school Final Fantasy game. So
Yeah, it's pretty interesting actually. A lot of people keep giving it the They keep calling it like the Bravely Default ripoff. I don't think that's accurate.
That's Bravely Default was like a ripoff of Final Fantasy V. So
I was like, yeah, I don't see it, but I think it's more or less they see the graphical appearance of the characters and they're like, that looks like Bravely Default.
oh right.
Just from the graphical observance of it, and it's an RPG that you have characters that fight in a battle, and therefore it's Bravely Default.
Right.
I've heard interesting things about that game, but I don't want to judge it based on what I've heard. I've heard, though, that the problem that some people had with it is that it's not linear.
Oh,
Well, I guess the game like truly develops on its own, and I'm trying to remember the creator of this game. I believe it's the same creator as the guy who made Chrono Trigger.
okay.
It has a frog in it.
Well, it does.
That's true.
It has that, and I believe and I think the thing is, like, a lot of people are kind of weirded out by his style of storytelling. But if I
Right.
remember correctly, like when I played Chrono Trigger, there wasn't really this really straight linear path when I was playing it too much. There was a lot of, I can go do stuff all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the same thing, and I guess people don't understand it quite well. And
Yeah, I mean that would be
of
okay.
it.
Like that sounds like a pretty good non-linear JRPG. That sounds all right.
yeah, and I mean from what I've heard, like looking at the names that are behind this game, there's a lot of really huge names. So I would assume that this game is going to be pretty good.
The other Jay-Z in chat says, this just in, anything with a frog is Chrono Trigger. That would be great.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that there was a frog in Chrono Trigger because I never got that far.
Oh,
What?
we're just going to move right on and
Oh
just
my
say,
gosh.
hey, play Chrono Trigger. It's really good. Play the DS one. It's the best one.
Okay.
Releasing for the PS4, Final Fantasy VII is hot new. The 7th Final Fantasy game. We've been waiting the longest since 6. Comes out on the 16th. I was trying to make a joke there, but everybody's played Final Fantasy VII already, so this is the non-HD remake one, so, you know, they just took the PC version and they smacked it on the PS4. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII before, go play this one, probably. It's still a good game. It's Final Fantasy VII. So, Tales of Zestiria is coming out on the PS4 on the 20th. I know there are so many Tales games coming out. I know virtually nothing about this one. Either of you guys know anything about Zestiria?
I already put the money down on Steam, so that way I would get it.
Okay.
I know that much. It's okay, so I know a little bit about Zestiria. It's running on the same sort of graphical engine as Xillia and Xillia 2, so there's that. So the combat system's very similar in regards to that with the way that works. I don't know too much else because I kind of stayed in the dark about Zestiria. Do you know anything, Musim?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
is this
the
the
nice-
one that had the pre-order to get the other Tales game as a
Yes.
bonus if enough people?
Yes. Which
yeah.
is why I put money down on Steam for it. 'Cause
Yeah, I feel like the good and maybe bad thing about the Tales series, if you don't like the Tales series, is you kind of know what you're getting into. Like, you're not going to pick up a Tales game and it's going to be a God of War clone.
Right.
You know, it's probably going to have the limbs system. It's probably going to have a pretty similar party map system. And there's going to be something crazy about magic with either the male or female protagonist.
Yeah, I was moving my games the other day and have way more Tales games than I thought I did. I have like
They
4
kind
or
of sneak
5
up
of
on
them.
you. They're like, oh, where did I get Tales of Fantasia 2? That's weird.
I didn't know they made a second one. I have the first one.
Yeah. First one was pretty good. I like that. I think that was my first Tales game. It was Tales of Fantasia for the PS1.
Oh, nice.
That was an impossible final dungeon. I never finished it.
Well, maybe I'm not thinking of the same game. I'm thinking of a GBA game.
That is... No, I'm thinking of Tales of Destiny for the PS1. You're thinking of
Okay.
Tales of Fantasia. You're correct.
Okay.
That was also a good game. That was a Super NES port to the GBA?
Probably.
I don't know.
That's like half GBA's library is.
Yeah,
SNES
oh man, so many
ports.
good RPGs on GBA. Whew. And finally, last but not least, Mega Man Legends for the PS1 comes out on PSN, primarily playable on PS3 and the PSP. I think you can play it on Vita. I don't really know. Mega Man Legends is super good. Please remember, not really a dual stick game. So if you are going to pick it up, it's basically a third-person Mega Man RPG. You got to give it a little bit of time to wrap your head around the controls. They're a little bit weird, but it's a really fun game if you kind of get over that hump and spend a little bit of time with it. News stories. There's a Kickstarter for BattleTech, and I believe that Musim put this in here, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
Okay, so
I don't know what BattleTech is.
So BattleTech is Mech Warrior.
Cool. I like that.
I got an argument. What is wrong with me in that I'm arguing with people in comment sections? But
sometimes you have to stand for what's right.
Yeah. So you could probably, I don't know it factually, but Front Mission probably got a lot of inspiration from BattleTech.
Right.
It's the same basic concept where this Kickstarter's for a turn-based mech game by the guys who did the Shadowrun games. They're going to do it in Unity 5. They've already said it's turn-based, but they're going to do it in 3D, so it's not going to be stuck in one viewpoint, and they want the mechs to look really good. It was kind of interesting because they basically came out and said, look, we're already making a skirmish game. Here's what we want to add on to it. So they kind of made a bunch of, kind of the PR on this Kickstarter, I think, is kind of ingenious. They basically, they found the big Mech Warrior Twitch streamer, which has just loads and loads of subscribers, and did a bunch of pre-interviews before the Kickstarter went live to say what they were wanting to do, what they weren't wanting to do. And so you have all these hardcore Mech Warrior and BattleTech fans who, this is a game franchise that started out as a tabletop game.
Oh, okay. That makes sense why I haven't heard about it. I'm not well-versed in the tabletop realm.
Yeah, it started out as a board game, and then went tabletop, and then they had a couple PC games, and then they had, the action games that hit the Xbox eventually. But so right now where they're at, I think they're at 1.35 million or something like that.
Yeah, I just pulled up. They're a hair's breadth away from 1.4 million with only 30 days left to go.
Wow. So
they're doing pretty okay. They asked for $250,000, so...
I honestly, when this started, I'm like, oh, they're going to be lucky if they hit 1 million. And boy, was I completely wrong. It's been going for 2 days, but they kind of unlocked the single-player campaign, which was the thing I wanted them to unlock most in it. And now what they want to do... The next thing that I really want them to unlock is the mercenaries aspect to it, which I think is at 1.8 million, basically 1.85. And where they'll have a linear storyline now, like the mercenary, if they reach that point, they will add on kind of these side missions and kind of factions you can align with. But it's... I don't know. To me, this sounds like my kind of game. If you liked Front Mission and want a more complicated version of that, with those style of Western mechs in it, then I think you should check this out. Yeah, the game is $25 in the Kickstarter. I went with the $35 tier because it came with the soundtrack. Because the guy who's doing the soundtrack for this did the soundtrack for Shadowrun Hong Kong, which I think is pretty phenomenal. He really set the mood good. So I wanted to make sure. And I could have gotten a copy later. I guess I really don't need to do 30.
Yeah, toss a little money their way.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool Kickstarter. If you like mechs and you like turn-based stuff, I think you should go check it out.
Yeah. Next news story, Chris Avallone joining Divinity Original Sin 2 as a writer. Apparently this was one of the... he appeared as a stretch goal for Torment, Tides of Numenera. And he's returning for Divinity Original Sin, Divinity 2 Original Sin. I'm just happy that Chris Avallone will continue writing for RPGs.
So did you hear how this came about?
No.
It's It's literally one of those like social media hookups
Oh.
where someone made the joke, "Oh, Chris Aveline writes all the RPGs. Why isn't he on this?" And tagged like Aveline and
And he
those
heard
guys.
whispers on the wind, like, someone's talking about me writing for an RPG.
Yeah, and they just started talking on Twitter and met up at a convention, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, we just brought him on."
That's crazy.
So, because he doesn't work for Obsidian anymore, he's freelance, so he does what he wants.
Now he can literally write for every RPG.
Yeah, yeah.
Have him hook up with the Chrono Trigger guy.
They did a good. I think it was either Destructoid or Rock Paper Shotgun. One of them did a joke article saying, "Here's Chris Aveline writing for all these franchises that he's not really writing for," and like did these 10 games where they. I don't know. It's a funny read.
That's awesome.
So,
next news story: another Kingdom Hearts HD thing was announced. I just wanted to talk about this because it's crazy. Square Enix revealed Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 : Final Chapter Prologue. What? So this contains a 3D remake of the 3DS game Dream Drop Distance in full HD.
I heard that was good.
I heard that game was good too, and I just never got to it because there's about 10 Kingdom Hearts games a year, so I have to miss one of them. They're also coming out with it has a, they've been doing movie versions of some of the games that they don't really feel like remaking. This one is Kingdom Hearts Chi back cover. I don't know. And then they're going to have some sort of cutscene story called Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep: A Fragmentary Passage that will tell a story after Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And then that will connect it to Kingdom Hearts 3. Square, please stop.
Oh my god.
I just want Kingdom Hearts 3 so I can play that and just be done. Because as the other JZ in chat says, Kingdom Hearts used to be so cool, then you made your names all crazy and alienated everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, I like Kingdom Hearts a lot. I enjoy the... Tomain in chat says, Kingdom Hearts, you're drunk, go home. Yes, exactly. I like Kingdom Hearts, and I think they tell a semi-interesting, if not a little bit unhinged and crazy story. Just calm it down. Everything's cool. Stop making games for like a minute.
I feel like you could just read me Kingdom Hearts titles after 1 and 2, and that would I could go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, you could probably pull 3 words out of a hat and say, "Okay, is this a Kingdom Hearts title, or did we just pull 3 random words?" I'm gonna go make that website.
Yeah.
Oh.
And last but certainly, unfortunately, least news story here: Persona 5 was delayed until 2016.
I was wrong.
We made it all the way to September, thinking, "Oh man, it could still happen in 2015. We still have until December 31st." But unfortunately, we don't. It sounds like Atlas is just saying, like, "Hey, we're not done. We need more time. We want to make this game great, so we need a couple extra months." I feel like Mina and I were talking about this during the break. I feel like there's one company that legitimately, if they say, "Hey, we just need a little bit more time to make this game way better," then Atlas is probably the company to trust, because they probably want to do that. They're not getting out of the way of another big release because they don't care, and they're not trying to rush it through before the holiday because they don't care. So there has to be some... And man, they released another trailer with it, and holy crap.
I haven't seen it.
Oh god, Persona 5.
I haven't seen it. I just know it's good.
It's kind of like going to the doctor's office and getting a lollipop after getting a shot. We're like, that sucked, but man, this lollipop is really cool. That trailer they released was like 5 minutes of just really cool stuff. So, damn you, Atlas, but thank you for another trailer. But damn you to hell.
Yeah, I have a lot of theories on why they delayed it because I know they're still sticking by they want a near simultaneous release between Japan and America,
Yeah.
and I wonder if that had something to do with it or if it really was them just trying to do maybe some more testing and cleaning up of whatever's there.
Yeah.
But I also kind of wonder if they wanted to really stick to that whole we want these dates to be as close as possible. So
Yeah, and with the amount of animated cutscenes they showed in just that trailer alone, I'm wondering if there's even more anime stuff in this one than Persona 4. So there might even be problems around that because that stuff surely doesn't take a small amount of time to create. So, man, Persona 5, you're probably going to be good, and I'm going to wait. So, just please show up.
I'm kind of grateful because now that I have this extra time, I'm going to try and clean up all of my games and get through them as fast as possible.
Kind of clean up the backlog here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The other GZ wants us to wrap this up because he needs to order a pizza. So let's get. That's good news that we were just done with news stories. Let's move on to tweets. Ivan Incubus writes in, do you guys think that God Eater 2 will ever come to the West? Played tons of the first one on the PSP. I just can't get enough. I think we talked about this on TVGP a little bit ago, but probably not. I feel like that's one of the games that I really wish would come to the West because it seems like so many people loved the hell out of it on PSP. I just got the impression it did not sell well. So I wish I had better news for you. I wish I had like the inside track where it's like, keep an eye out for November, wink, but even with the Vita not doing so hot in the West, I just, unless they come out with like an HD remake for PS4, I think the chances are probably pretty low, unfortunately. Sorry to be a bummer.
I just got distracted. You talking about God Eaterverse 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
That game did not do well. I played a bit of that. It was okay.
Yeah, and I feel like it's one of those games that came out for the PSP and nobody knew how to market it. And I think there might have been a demo, but nobody really pushed it, and it never really got the traction it could have. And I think looking at localizing a second one for the Vita, they go, I don't know. There's a lot of... You put that in a spreadsheet and they say,
Especially since it seems like Sony's pretty much saying they're not going to do any more handhelds after the Vita. This is it.
Right. I mean, they don't even have any games in the pipeline for the Vita either, I don't think so.
They want out. I think they're looking at the mobile market and they're like, yeah, that thing wrecks us.
Yeah,
We're
the
not
PS4 is real great, right, guys? Next tweet here from the other JZ. I'm not sure if this counts an RPG, but let me try that again. All right. I'm not sure if it counts as an RPG, but I've been having fun with Guild of Dungeoneering. Anyone else play it? I think I watched a quick look of that from Giant Bomb, and that game looks really cool.
What is it?
I believe that was... Guild of Dungeoneering. I typed that in Google, and that's one of the first things that comes up. Yeah, it's this really cool game where you basically have a bunch of cards that you take into a dungeon, and you take those cards and basically pieces of dungeon, and you build the dungeon and use that to fight monsters.
I've seen it. I just didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah, it looks super cool. Yeah, it's only $15 on Steam right now. I'm surprised they haven't announced a PS4 and Xbox One version. This seems like a game that would be a shoe-in for coming out on some of the consoles. But yeah, that game looks super cool. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. Is it even on my wish list? No, I gotta fix that. Pfft, crazy. Yeah, that seems like one that was really great. There's a really good quick look of it on Giant Bomb if you're curious about more of it. Just looks like a great game. And we have an email this month.
Ooh.
Gnarly Thotep writes in and says, "Hey, Pupper Pegglers." Bring that back, I like it. Thanks again for continuing to provide this entertaining show. I look forward to it each month. Thank you very much for listening. A few questions for you all. Number one, with the Xenoblade talk about side quests, when do you find it becomes too much side content in an RPG? I've had problems getting into Bethesda games due to the wide range of side content that distracts me from the main story. I like bonus bosses and the like, but there comes a point where it gets overwhelming for me. Where do you find the sweet spot? I feel like that's a really hard thing to do, because I feel like side quests should almost kind of be contained in this area and just be a couple to distract you from the main story. But when it becomes something like Mina was talking about with Skyrim, where it's like, okay, now pick up this thing, go kill a monster over here, and then it dumps you out to another area where there's another 20 side quests. That to me that's a great open world thing, but from a side quest thing, it's sort of, there's so many quests.
I think it's a question of scope. Like Skyrim, an Elder Scrolls game, you expect them to present you with a country to explore and play with all the pieces in. And, the main stories in the Elder Scrolls are kind of give or take them for the most part, like except for Morrowind, which I think is a fantastic main story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's the young me talking that from 10 years ago. But like Xenoblade, it really feels laid out with this super linear story where the side quests don't, the side quests are tiny text boxes that you can skip and don't matter.
Mm-hmm. Or they flesh out the story of the town or the people in the town just a little bit, but not enough where it's like, oh, you didn't catch a thing in the story, you should have done side quest 235.
Yeah.
Whereas
like in Skyrim, though, you're face to face with the people, you are exchanging materials, and you are seeing, well, not for the randomly generated quests, but for the quests that were actually handmade in it.
Right.
Like you're generally seeing some sort of result or some sort of mini storyline that is not presented entirely in a text box. So to me, like, that's the big difference. I think Xenoblade could definitely use with less reliance on side quests.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times I feel like the real indication is when you open up your quest log and you're just like, oh, there are like 3 pages of quests. How am I going to do? And you kind of get paralyzed by it. And you're like, which one do I start with? I don't know. I have 30 of them. And I feel like at that point, there's just, you can start cutting some because you almost have too much content.
It's also a tracking issue, right? Mm-hmm. It's how easily can you find the quest giver and the next step in the quest. So if they have not built a good stupid line for you to follow or built an easy way to get back to the quest giver, then that's a serious error. And that's another fault that I think goes back to Xenosaga. What is this game called? Xenoblade.
Yeah, one of the Xenos.
Is 75% of their quests you don't have that issue, but then you have that other 25% where you're like, oh, I have to go give this to the person by the gemsmith in freaking Colony 9, and you warp out there and they're not there, and you're like, well, do I need to try night? And then they're still not there, and you're like, well, crap, what corner of this area am I not looking that this person is in? Or
it's one of those things where it's like, you need to give this thing to Gnarlthep in the Cave of Gnashing Teeth, and you're like, I don't know where that is. And it's like, oh, you don't? It's 15 miles outside of the starting city in a place where you've never been before. And it's like, what?
Well, and I think the other part is how much quality time are you getting out of the side quest? Is the side quest literally just, this guy asked for 5 apples, or is it actually an interesting side quest? Like the aspects. Well, okay, so Destiny's exotic quests, if you read the text boxes that go along with them, if they had actually voice acted those and presented them and you interacted with them, I think they would have been a lot more interesting. But then you also have the collect aspects of them of, oh, go get this kill ratio in PvP or something like that, which I don't. If
You know, that's one
What's-
thing that I'm actually happy they worked on with the Taken King, where a lot of times for an exotic quest, you'll have to go do a special version of like a normal story quest that has different voice acting and has different story associated with it. You're fighting different bosses or you're taking a different path through the story quest. And I feel like they're presenting that stuff with voice acting instead of just, oh, go talk to Ikora and she'll talk to you a little bit about her shotgun.
Yeah, you know, I think the way to do side questing is if you want to have the collect stuff in there, don't make it quests, just make it a giant, like, collection style board where it's just, okay, you got 5 of these, here's a little bit of experience, or here's a little bit of a buff on this.
Right.
It's not something you're actively participating in. It's just something that passively happens in the background and every once in a while pops up and gives you a pat on the head, you know?
You know, Skyrim does do that though. They split out their quests. There's like, I forget what they call it, but those real collection quests where it's like, go get me a mammoth tusk or whatever. It's not actually given like a real trackable, like you're going to this Still Spring Cave or something and find me the rare item in there and bring it back to me. Like the mammoth tusk is literally put into this kind of junk quest thing where there's like 12 other quests there, like go craft me this and go collect 3 wolf pelts, and yeah, I noticed
they
that.
do have a lot of that in there, don't they? I guess I'm mainly just remembering the individual characters in the cities and helping them out with their businesses or helping the guilds out with things.
Well, you don't really think about the junk quests because they're literally tucked away in your active quest log.
Yeah, I was trying to remember which game that was I was thinking of, and it is Skyrim, where it's sort of like, all right, here's your main story quests, and then here's your kind of secondary side quests, and then down below, tucked here, are like, get me 10 wolf pelts, and if you go into this cave, get me a crystal.
And they're not even trackable. They're
it's just sort of like, you're gonna get it at some point, so, you know, it's around when you get to it.
Yeah, and when you actually pick up the item, like, as soon as I got the mammoth tusk, there was, like, a quest update that was like, oh, you got the mammoth tusk, you need to take it back to so-and-so. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that quest.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, you don't have to go turn it in now. You can just kind of, when you're back in the area, go talk to the dude that wanted that tusk.
Yeah.
Here's a second question here. I'm currently grinding out the last trophy I need for Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth, which isn't terrible. I just need a lot of credits, but it's a slog. The game is pretty good, and all other trophies are at worst not too much trouble, and some quite fun. What trophies/achievements did you get that you found to be similarly tedious or even unpleasant?
Who wants to go first? Me?
It seems like you thought of one immediately.
I got 2 immediately off the top of my head. The first one is I don't know if anybody here has played it. Can't remember. Danganronpa.
I started it. I need to get back to it.
Okay, so there is an achievement for collecting all of these little items that you can get from this lottery machine thing, and the more times you use the lottery, the lower percentage chance that you're going to get something unique pops out of it. And you have to collect the coins for this, which is done through playing the game over and over and over. And I like the game a lot, but then it gets to the point where, like, I don't like you that much, game.
Right, I don't want to do that much.
Because you get kind of tedious because it's the same story and same things over and over and over. And then there's, like, you can do some other stuff to get the coins, I think. But it's just, like, continually playing that lottery to get that achievement was such a pain. I don't even...
Well, just like every time you turn it, you're like, it could be something.
Why? And then
again.
It's like 0.005 or something like that. I'm just like, come on.
That's the worst.
Come on. Just give me the stupid thing so I get the achievement. And that's the sort of RNG I really hate because that's nothing controlled. That's no skill. That's just me annoyed by it. And then I guess the other achievement that I really had to grind out was the hardcore Rosette fan where you had to keep trying to get the specific status effects with the certain characters with Rise commenting
Senpai's poisoned.
She had to correctly say the phrase you want.
Yeah.
And it's rough.
So funny story.
That
That just happened naturally on my first playthrough.
You're a
I
monster.
hate
Golden.
you.
Get off the
I
show.
hate you.
That's like the one trophy I don't have.
I
And I
hate you.
didn't get the rest of the trophies because I knew I was never going to go back and play through that game and like follow a Rosette fan guide just to get this one trophy. And I was just like, nah, I'm done.
Because everybody has to be hip with every status effect, but she also has to say that status effect. Like,
Yeah.
she has to say it.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, then you have to keep rolling around turns and...
Oh no, Kanji-kun's poisoned. Thank you, Rosette. I think the only one that I kind of wish that it was a trophy or an achievement, but it was on the PS2, is killing Yasmat in Final Fantasy 12, who has something like 50 million hit points,
Yeah.
and you hit him for like 1,000 every hit. That was the
Gee.
worst. It took me literal days because you could checkpoint the boss by leaving the area, so you could leave and save and come back, and the boss would still have its missing hit points.
Geez.
That was... I would like to say never again, but if an HD version comes out that has a trophy, I would get that version.
So you know that they're putting on for sale the Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, and 12 HD strategy guide out. Like, it's a 3 strategy guide,
Really?
and it's got HD screenshots of Final Fantasy 12 in there that don't exist in there is no Final Fantasy 12 HD. So if they've got screenshots
I
of
just blacked
12
out for a minute.
in HD, like there's comparison pictures of
Mina, I can't take this
not
to my heart.
HD and the pictures from this.
Mina, no.
One can only assume that this must be in the work. Why would they make all these screenshots of HD 12?
I can't do this. I had not seen that. How had this slipped my Final Fantasy 12 gaze?
It was real recent too, because I actually got in a argument with someone about how I think they're going to make it, and they're like, they clearly are not working on it. They're working on 7. They're working on this and this. And I was like, I got all sad because it's like, I want this to happen. And then they sent me a link the very next day, and they're like, I hate you because you are probably right. Yeah, I'll find that link for you though, Boston. But yeah.
I'm gonna not get excited, but I'm all the way excited.
So I don't have like a good answer for this. I know there's some crazy things I've done back in the day that just are not coming to me. And so the most recent thing I can think of is getting the platinum, I think, in Assassin's Creed 2, because you had to get all those stupid birds or feathers or
Oh,
something.
the feathers. Man, I did that too, and it was not worth it.
Yeah, no. And it was, I don't know. Like, for instance, like on Tactics Ogre a while back, I talked about killing a bunch of people to raise a faction thing so I could get this one necromancer in a game I've already beaten. And I never went back to that.
Yeah.
I tend to just, like, when it becomes absurdly, okay, this is a giant waste of my time and I've already beaten the game, so it doesn't matter, then I tend to stop playing. Unless I just absurdly love that game. Like in Nocturne, for instance, I 100%ed the Demon Compendium.
Oh, wow.
So that was awesome, and that was very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, that better be a gold trophy or something.
Well, if it wasn't, on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I keep wishing they would bring it out for something else, but I don't know. My save game for that game died with my backwards compatible PS3, so that's sad.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at this screenshot Mina sent over of Final Fantasy 12 in HD. It's just God, it looks so nice.
Wow.
Okay. I think that was the end of his questions. I got so distracted by the best Final Fantasy game. Yeah, that's the last of his. So thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. That's it for this episode, but if you'd like to visit us, you can do so at pickingupthepixels.com. Email us, fans@pickingupthepixels.com. Tweet us at pickingupPixels, and everything else is on the homepage. Musum, where can we find you?
TheCarouselPodcast.com,
Yay.
Musum.bandcamp.com, and Carousel Podcast and John Musum on Twitch.
And yell real loud outside. Mina, what about you?
You can find me on twitch.tv at MinaKo Rocket. Mina Ko Rocket.
And thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. Don't forget you can watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network, first Saturday of every month. We'd love to have you in chat, as long as you're not being weird like some people that hopped in earlier.
Yeah.
Be the show's version of weird, not like weird. And thank you very much, Mina and Musum, for joining me yet again.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you for having me.
And this adventure continues next month. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us in the chat. Always happy to see all of you. You all are very special. Thank you for not being weird. People are just so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not drinking pee. It's iced tea. Like, people have never seen iced tea in a mason jar. That's where iced tea goes. Sheesh.
I really didn't catch what was going on at
Yeah,
first.
you're
I
not
was
missing
like...
much. Yeah. Anyway, thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you next month.
Bye.